Happy days to you, everybody. Hope you're doing well out there. Sorry, just before I started this video, I went to click on the camera and I was going to talk about stupid internet trends and culture, how we fall into these, ridiculous ideas that get magnified by the internet. And right as I was going to click off, my Google, I guess, what the home screen had been somehow I must have bumped a couple of links because it was on like a page from Forbes. I don't read Forbes, but I just saw the title briefly before I clicked back on camera, and it occurred to me how funny it was. And it said, "How to be the most interesting person in the room." And it kind of clicked, and I thought about this, and I started thinking, that's funny, a topic on its own. Like, it's the old know the enemy kind of thing. Not necessarily an enemy, but know the opposition. If you're, one political affiliation, you should always know what the other's talking about. I mean, you're completely misinformed. If you're not informed, you're not fully informed. And that means understanding what other people are saying and thinking. And it's funny, I thought how weird it would be to read like rich people's magazines like Forbes and, stock market magazines and like CEO magazines and read them for a while and really read through them and read all the articles and say, what is it these kind of people like, what do they read? What kind of articles fascinate people? Is it just about them? How to make yourself more valuable, how to be a better asset, how to make more money. It's just, but that's a whole culture all its own. And I was thinking about that as being separate from, how different that is from the culture I was going to talk about, which is like what you call the average Joe, right? We're all average Joes. Most of us, I would say, even the people who read that kind of shit, even the rich, fall into these silly trends. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He retweets some of the most like infantile memes. I mean, so it's not about the wealth; it's just about the circles people hang in, and where we interact with in the public square, whether you're getting together with people in a castle because you're wealthy or you're hanging out just at a party with your friends because you ain't got no money, you're going to interact with certain groups of people. However, on the internet, those all kind of cross paths. Everyone's on YouTube, for example. You might be there for a video about a topic. You could be wealthy, you could be poor, you could be any kind of person and come across a particular topic, and everyone's there in the same kind of comment section room. So we all do get an idea of how other people are feeling and what's important. And because of that, these trends emerge. Somebody might see some dumb dance on TikTok, and the irony being here that, they won't just like give credit to the original creator. They'll steal it, they'll copy it, and they'll make it their own, and they'll get famous for it. And this happens in the YouTube world all the time. These trends, not just trends, I'm not talking about like, planking kind of crap from history, like, all these weird things people have done, the milk crate challenge crap. I'm talking about trends in behavior, like the way that we've treated each other politically, those types of behavior, but also something as simple as minimalism, for example, which I guess I'll get into that in a minute. But these little, these little like cultural kind of moments where somebody, when I was saying along the lines of people stealing dances, seems to be the same formula on YouTube. Some topic comes up that people are interested in, and there's a mildly successful channel. So 10 other channels with guys with British accents all join in, and every single one of them uses stock photos and images with unrelated pictures to the story, and they want to tell you the same story. It's like every week there's some new, like, we're going to focus on this. And I can understand that because it's kind of like it's almost like water cooler talk. Like in the day, when I was a kid, when TV was all there was, you'd watch a show the night before. If you missed it, you missed it. You'd have to talk to people to see what happened or wait until it came around like a year later. So in that case, there was a lot of talk about shows and TV and stuff like that. Or news, because we were all limited and had access to the same news. So you'd talk about what you heard about the day before, so you wanted to be informed. But these days, nobody's sure what to be informed about. And I think that that's biting us in the ass. And so people are getting into things that really don't matter and becoming obsessed about it. It's just weird to watch. I don't think there's anything we can do about it because I think it's human nature. Allow this West Coast liberal to sip his espresso. Mm. I don't think there's anything we can necessarily do about it, but maybe nor should we. I don't know. I'm not here to determine the value of cultural trends. But one that caught my eye before I made this video was minimalism, because randomly I was watching a video about this, and I thought of how a part of it was so erroneous. It was a great video, but the part when, the discussion was around how a few years back minimalism was very popular. And I remember this because, as you can see, I'm a maximalist. That's a joke, of course. I'm just a guy who has a lot of hobbies and interests. I've got a stack of wood behind me. Those are all nice pieces of like live edge maple. I build guitars. I've got them back there. I've got some hand drums and my various instruments, tapes, music equipment, records, all that stuff. And I like it because it's stuff I enjoy. It's half the things in here I might not use for a few years, but when I do need them, I've got them. And minimalism was based on this idea of just getting rid of pretty much everything and starting over. And if you go back to the roots of it, it was really originally, it's been it started with art. Minimalism was an artistic idea, but obviously it's the same type of thing. Basically, simple white rooms with a piece of furniture, maybe one piece of furniture with one couch and something on the table, nothing on the walls, right? No pictures, nothing. It would depend on the perspective of the person, but the idea was to get, re-cleanse your life and start over. But really, there was no kind of, what's the next step? Do you regain things? Do you buy? What happens when you all of a sudden need a toaster again? And of course, you'd have to choose what you keep. But it became the trend completely died out when COVID hit because everybody was stuck at home. And they realized, oh my God, this is boring as hell. I want to do stuff. And so you might only be able to order things online. And all of a sudden, the funny part about it is like within a year, maximalism was an actual trend. That was an actual term people were using. Like, now maximalism is in. And it reminded me of just, fall trends and colors for clothing and people saying, this is what's in style. This is what's in style. And I'm just sitting here going, no, 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 no. Neither one of these understand humans at all. It's kind of like saying I used to be a liberal, but now I'm conservative, or vice versa. Like, I saw the light and I jumped to the other side. Whoa, did you ever spend some time on the fence to look at both sides and see what's going on? And I think that's what happened with this idea. Some people don't need a lot in their life, and they're better off with a few things. My mom's pretty minimalist, but she still would be a maximalist to some people. Even her small space, she's got, a lot of knickknacks. A lot of people started saying they felt bad because they threw away heirlooms or things that were maybe important to them. It's like, why would you do that? What are you really trying to get rid of if you're getting rid of things that are actually important to you? Like, there's this interesting concept here about the hoarder, because to some, if they saw my garage that I can't set my tools up in because I've got a lot of tubs of things I need to organize, but I have a fair amount of room out here in the garage in front of the couch. But to me, it's a little cluttered, but it's not a mess. I know where things are. It's not dirty. That's what's important. And there's a huge difference between that and, say, having wrappers all over. And some people did grow up in environments. I had a friend where I went to his house one time and it was all newspapers. It was like, I remember walking through a maze of stacked newspapers to get through the house. And I was like, wow, it was my first experience with somebody who was a hoarder. And I, since then, have known family members and people close to me I know a hoarder, and I know the behavioral effects it has on a person. If you try to throw away their stuff, it's like throwing away their soul. I mean, a lot of people just don't understand. If you think that hoarding is something that you just get rid of your shit, it's a mental disease. Well, sometimes I ask myself, well, why do I hang on to all my old stereos? Because I might sell them one day. Why do I have so much music equipment? Because I might get back in a band one day. You see what I'm saying? Why do I have 2,000 records when I'm not going to listen to them all? Well, because I might want to listen to them all. I might have a my dream is to have a farmhouse and a big enough place to put all my records and all my stuff to where it doesn't, because I have like 1,000 square foot house. If I had even 500 square feet, or even a shop, all my tools could go in the shop. I'd have plenty of room because I really don't have that much stuff. But that's what I'm saying is it's all perspective. How much stuff you have depends on what you need. I have a whole rack behind me of art supplies. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. That whole rack up there, those are all the bracelets and jewelry I've made. Then I've got down here all my beads and different woods and scissors and glue sticks, and I mean it's glow powders, endless. It's just endless. And I think, do I need all this stuff? How often am I going to make these things and do this stuff? And I think, no, I do want to have more time to do it, and I want to have the stuff to do it when I want to do it. And what's the worst that happens, right? You throw it away. So I think that minimalism and maximalism were kind of dumb trends. But I guess that was a long way of saying that. And probably I could have prepared for this video by coming up with like 10 other different trends to give you examples. But I figured I'd just keep it at that one because it's what was on my mind. And that's my ramble. Minimalism is not going to, kind of in a nutshell, minimalism is not going to eliminate anything except for your stuff. It might give you a sense of, feeling decluttered for a moment, but ultimately, if it gets to the point where you get rid of everything you own and you don't want anything on your walls, that can become very boring and non-inspiring. And I believe that an environment should be inspiring. You should have some of the things you enjoy to be seen. It's just not natural to be in a sterile hospital environment. But if it works for you, so be it. Anyway, I'm out. Talk to you later. Peace out.